Hello again, welcome to The Quiet Ambition with Caroline Harrison. Issue 9, The Permission Problem. The quiet story: she had every qualification the room could ask for. The experience, the track record, the ideas that other people quietly borrowed and later presented as their own. Colleagues came to her for advice. Clients trusted her judgment without question. And yet every major decision in her own life seemed to begin with the same invisible negotiation, conducted in private, before anyone else was consulted. Am I allowed to do this? Allowed to change direction. Allowed to charge what she was worth. Allowed to say no, without an apology attached. Allowed to want something other than what she had already proven she was good at. From the outside, this looked like discipline. From the inside, it was a waiting room she'd been sitting in for years, expecting someone with more seniority, more certainty, or simply more years on the clock to eventually turn to her and say, "Now, you can go now." That permission never arrived. Not because she hadn't earned it, but because the people she was quietly waiting on had spent their own careers waiting for exactly the same thing: the insight. Most of us are trained to seek approval long before we're taught to trust our own judgment. School rewards the correct answer. Early careers reward fitting the culture. Families, more often than not, reward being good. We become fluent in reading a room and identifying what is expected of us, and in the process we become strangers to our own authority. The irony is that the most capable people are often the most dependent on being given permission, not because they lack conviction, but because they built their entire sense of competence inside systems where someone else defined what success looked like. A promotion, a performance rating, a title on a business card. Indra Nooyi spent years rising through the ranks at PepsiCo before she trusted her own strategic instincts enough to bet the company's future on a health-conscious pivot that much of the board initially resisted. The quiet disconnect. Waiting for permission rarely announces itself as fear. It dresses itself as preparation. One more course, one more year in the role, one more conversation with someone whose opinion, if we're honest, was never going to change anything. One more sign that the moment is finally right. Preparation, taken past its natural endpoint, becomes a socially acceptable form of postponement. It is fear wearing a lanyard. And the cost of it rarely feels dramatic in the moment. It feels like nothing happening, again quietly, while the rest of life continues without pausing to wait for you. The uncomfortable truth is that the delay was never about capability. It was about a private confusion between confidence and authorization, as though the second could only ever follow the first, granted by someone else, on their timeline rather than yours. The quiet choice confidence, as it turns out, does not arrive before action. It is not handed down from someone with more authority than you. It is built, slowly and almost imperceptibly, every time you honor a decision you made for yourself without asking anyone to co-sign it. The first boundary will feel uncomfortable. The first no will feel, for a moment, selfish. The first genuinely bold move will feel reckless right up until it doesn't. And then, without ceremony, you notice something. Nobody gave you permission. You simply stopped asking for it. That is the quiet, unglamorous moment where adulthood becomes sovereignty. You can spend another year waiting to feel ready. Or you can recognize, as Vera Wang did when she entered the bridal industry at 40 with no formal design training and no guarantee anyone would take her seriously, that readiness was never the invitation in the first place. It was the reward for beginning without one. The quiet ambition exercise. This week, notice every time the sentence "I can't until" surfaces in your thinking. Write it down exactly as it appears. Then ask it a second, quieter question: who says? More often than not, you will find there is no gatekeeper standing at the door, only a habit that has been mistaken for one. The quiet mantra: I no longer wait to be chosen, I choose. The quiet conversation. Where in your life are you still waiting for permission from someone who no longer holds it, and what would change the moment you notice that? If this issue found you at the right moment and you haven't already followed the quiet ambition, ready to stop waiting for permission and start building the next chapter on your own terms, book a Spark session, link in comments.